Amanda, for starts, could you please introduce yourself and just tell us what you do at... Hello?
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay, sorry.
Good afternoon. Yes. Good
Good.
afternoon. Pleasure to have all meet everyone here. My name is Amanda Obidike, and I am from Lagos, Nigeria. I am currently a data scientist and founder of STEMi Makers Africa. STEMi. I mean is Science, Technology, Engineering, Mathematics, and Innovation Makers of Africa. So I have a certification in STEM education from the Open University, UK, and also biomedical and research management from the Harvard Medical School. And I actually serve as most times as the strategy lead for STEMi. I help to coordinate leadership, community projects, and STEM education outreaches across the countries that we operate in. Then I think I love outside of work. I love teaching kids. I have this community library that I recently begun in like an underserved area where I teach children on reading literacy and STEM after school programs. So that's a little about me. Thank you so much.
Wow, that is amazing.
Thank you.
You're also a mentor in New York Academy of Science. What
Yes, I
exactly?
am. Okay,
Oh,
yeah. So
wow. What exactly does that involve?
okay, so it's a New York Academy of Science. They have quite a lot of initiatives and programs under the academy, but where I function most times is the 1,000 Girls, 1,000 Futures program. It's a program that is actually run in more than 60 countries in the world. They have a lot of mentees that are within the ages of 11 to 18, and they pair them virtually to mentors in STEM, but especially women. So we take them through a yearly program, and it's quite intensive. It contains workshop, like technical workshops, virtual lab spaces, mentorship like one-on-one, then peer-to-peer mentoring. So that's it about the New York Academy of Science.
Wow, that is very incredible. That is exactly what we are trying to do, get more girls into STEM.
You've accomplished a lot in such a short period of time. What inspires you to go into STEM? Like, I
What?
mean, what inspires you to go into STEM? A lot of kids don't. That's what we are trying to do as well. Um, inspire a lot and empower a lot of kids to go into STEM. What inspired you to decide on venturing into a career into STEM?
Oh, okay, so yeah, that's a very good question. It's a story that I love to share because I know that it inspires quite a lot of people. So for starters, I didn't have a background in science or technology at all, and I read business administration, which is quite different. But I had quite a lot of challenges after graduation from school. So it's not about coming out with a first class and all. I just couldn't find a good job, and the better jobs out there required technical skills and technical competence, especially in technology. So I was at the meantime when I finished from the university, I had a job, but I was being underemployed. I was so sad. I was so depressed because it was so monotonous. It was about counting money, and that's just it. But I felt that there is more to life, and after the job, I actually quit my job. I just needed to like leave the job. And ideally, in a typical Nigerian home, your parents are asking you and saying, why will you leave the job? Do you have any other job that you are going into? So people don't really like leave a job except maybe they have something already that they are like falling back to. So my case was like that. I just had to like leave and think through, and it wasn't easy because for months I was out of job. I was out. I wasn't doing anything. I was just thinking closely and like asking myself, what do I do? And I had a friend who just shared a link with me and said, "Hey, IBM needs young people in data. Why don't you give it a try?" So I just thought of at the top of my head and said no, because looking at experience or engineering experience, I didn't have any experience as such in school. But I just said, okay, let me just give it a try. But that was a turning point in my life, because when I got to the IBM, it's actually in Churchgate Towers Innovation Center. It's actually on in Lagos on the island. I saw the ambience. I saw how everything was just looking so perfect. It was like we were in another world. And that was where I told myself, I said, hey, I really need to do this training, and I'm not just doing this training. I need to excel. And they took us. I had an exam, good enough. I had average, but they just had to let me in because I think they wanted to have this equal proportion of women, being part of the training. So a lot of boys qualified, but they also wanted to give women chance, to join in, and I joined. So we got started. It was so technical and intensive because ideally a data analytics should take you like say 2 months to 3 weeks, and it was back to back. I know I needed to give my all, and I did good enough. After 3 weeks, we embarked on a project, and first things first, my team, we won, and personally, I also had like a mastery award in data analytics and AI, and it was really surprising to a lot of people, especially in IBM, because they found out that I was the only one that didn't have prior experience or a little knowledge on say SQL or Cognos analytics and all. But it was resilience that pushed me. I was just tired of the situation I was in. So I felt that the only thing I needed to do was to give back, like to give all my strength, all my brains, all my sleep, into making that happen. And, that was the turning point for me, because when I finished the training, a lot of people will be asking you, okay, what's life after training? And my colleagues had to like say, okay, they had to look out for jobs, and they did. But I asked myself, I said, and that was where my parents now got confused, because the first one was, why would you leave your first job? Now, okay, now I've been trained, and the typical thing for parents is like, okay, you need to land yourself a good job, you need to start earning something and improving your livelihood. But I said, a lot of youth like me, especially women, do not have such an opportunity, either because they are not aware, or nobody is telling them, or there's no opportunity. And I said, why don't I just try to be a channel where I can train people, so that they can match these future focus options, so that they can be well experienced for the workforce. And that was what happened, and that was how my life changed into technology. And a lot of people, when I got started, found it ridiculous, because they were like, how will you start an initiative and you don't have funding, but you just want to train people? Why don't you use this training, earn money and all? But I found out that it's not just about the money, or that's some certain kind of incentives that you get, but the impact that you are giving to people, because that's how I see success. It's not just about accomplishing, but how many lives have you been able to touch with that skills or that knowledge that you have. And I must tell you that it has been a wonderful journey for me, because every day there's always a reassurance, I mean, is the communities that we are touching, or students that we are engaging, we are seeing good positive outcomes. We are seeing them use whatever skills that we have given them to transform their lives. And I've it's so fulfilling seeing that, wow, I'm touching lives. And I think that's like one of the best things that has happened to me from 2018 to date. So that's my story.
Was access a challenge for you? Because some people would say they don't have access to such programs that became a catalyst for your journey in STEM. Because from your story, it seems as if it seemed the program that you went through is the catalyst into your journey into STEM and everything you're after.
Okay, so if I'm to get you correctly, you're asking what program did I get myself involved with before I delved into STEM? Is that your question?
Yes, and is access is it is
Okay, is
such
it
are such
accessible?
programs, yes, are such programs accessible for other people?
Okay, awesome. Okay, so yeah, so the program that I got myself involved with is called Data Analytics by the IBM. So IBM is one of the esteemed organizations in technology, and they run this program like once in a year, and they randomly like pick people. So honestly, I don't know how my friend got a hold of the opportunity, but I know that when she extended the opportunity to me, I did not want to waste it. But going forward, I also leveraged a great deal on IBM. Why? After the training, I reached out to them and I said, hey, I would like to train youth like me on certain skills. So, how can we make this happen? And we got into some kind of partnership. I've actually had like three or four kinds of partnership with them. The first one we had was they had to give me access to their content. So they have this wonderful learning management system that people get to have access on, say, coding or data science, analytics, anything. So they gave me access to that, and that was what we used to, extend to our community. But in the long run, we started seeing that, okay, hey, we are having access to these tools, but why don't we build an Africa for us, being original? So I have this mentality of, say, an Africa by us for us, where we should be able to design contents that are used by us. We should be able to design resources that are not only just designed, but they can be used, they can be implemented, they can be sustained by us. So in the long run, we had to also build our own LMS, from scratch, and start getting in courses. Now, courses are also the ones that we, like someone like me and like my team, could pull up this course content and upload on our e-learning platform. So we also had to like look in and say, other LMS would also involve or require you, accessing it through data. We started to like build this LMS where you need little or no data to access it. So everything is like shrinked up. So it's really at a minimal rate. It's downloadable and all. But in the long run, we want to make it completely offline. It's a project that is still down our is still in our pipeline. So another kind of partnership that I leveraged on is we were training teachers. Now, I'm coming from a fragmented education institution in Nigeria. When I say that, what do I mean? in Nigeria, especially in a marginalized community, you find out that students typically say, "Oh, math is so difficult, science is so difficult. I don't think I can do it." Now, it's not that math is really difficult; it's not difficult at all. But because there is a wrong way of passing this message or making it so practical and interesting for these students. So we felt that why don't we train these teachers in the sense that they can teach differently. So we've always talking about wrong and old curriculum. We can't change that. We can only drive such narratives or drive actions into policies, because curriculum will take a while. But we said, why don't these teachers think outside the box, even if they're in the box? So it required us training them, and we had to collaborate with IBM. IBM was so supportive. They gave us a lot of resource tools. They gave us their center. We trained there for weeks, and but that was also something that we worked alongside with the US consulate in Lagos. So certain things like that is I just did not only like assess this, I tried to see how they can also be part of this change that we wanted to see happen. And it's actually something that everyone should look into, whether community-led organizations or NGOs, looking for ways to leverage or work alongside these technical or technology organizations or STEM organizations into like fulfilling your organization values or strategic or social impact going forward. So that's it.
So coming from not even a background in STEM to achieving so much in STEM, that is incredibly inspiring.
Thank you.
So, the next question I would like to ask you is, did you face any specific challenges getting into STEM, especially because you're a woman in STEM? Because that's what we've heard from most of a lot of our speakers, that there was an initial barrier. So, have you faced any such thing?
Yeah, you mean challenges, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Getting into STEM.
Well, yes, I face challenges, but let me talk about like the strength, around this. So the good thing is, STEM is still an untapped initiative. I know a lot of organizations are quite talking about STEM, but not every of these organizations are doing it differently. So you find out that it's just the same thing. But the good thing about it is you have people, you have whether volunteers or friends or even men in technology who are willing to help you. I see that happen a lot. I really got a lot of assistance and support from people because they saw that you just did not want to learn STEM, or you just did not want to delve into STEM like every other person would want to delve in, but you wanted to delve in because you want to create a solution, a lasting solution. Then speaking about the challenges, I noticed that we lack role models in STEM as women. So when I like learned about data analytics, I was really looking out for who people who I can, tap into their resources. When I say resources, I mean their stories. I wanted to hear them. I wanted to know how they were able to overcome every hitches or setbacks and all, but I barely saw any. One that I saw was she was inaccessible. She is a professor. She has a lot doing in University of Nigeria and all. So why I'm saying this is that we lack role models as women in the STEM field, because we need to hear their stories. We need some kind of reassurance, and we want to learn from their experiences. And that shortage is on the increase. And but thankfully for initiative like yours, you are building young girls that not just are going to find themselves in STEM, but they should be able to serve as role models and mentors, for the younger or the coming generation.
That's only possible because of women like you who encourage us, and you are a role model to so many, I'm sure.
Wow,
So
thank
thank you for
you.
that.
Thank you
I
very
myself was
much.
always scared of STEM and science and maths, and I always found it extremely scary.
What about you? What background do you have in STEM?
I have no background in STEM.
Oh,
I left science
wow.
in 10th grade. I was like, okay, I'm scared of this. But now, after hearing so many women, and I find it so interesting, I kind of regret leaving it.
Yeah, I think you should, because I know that it's easy. I will, let me not use the word easy. A lot of people would want to help, especially if they are boarding, like boarding technologists or boarding women into STEM. People will want to help you. People will want to lend their voices, extend their resources or network to you. And trust me, you would get support. It may take a while, but when they see that you are really passionate and resilient about it, help will come. So I'm so happy to hear that. But and another thing is that I'll be looking and keeping in touch so that we'll see how we can help you in this wonderful and lucrative field.
Maths is sometimes it's perceived in school as it's a boy's thing, and if you're a girl, you
Yeah.
are a superwoman or a super girl. How can you be capable of that? I only started being interested in mathematics in high
Yes.
school
Yes.
because someone else was, and I saw other girls were able to do it. I thought, wow, maybe I can do it.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
do you think that the situation within STEM for women is improving?
Oh wow. Okay. Yes, I think it is because the good thing is a lot of initiatives are springing up. Say initiatives like mentoring young girls, visiting community college communities to start building that passion in them. But on the other hand, I want us to also look at tackling this from the grassroots. It's all about teachers. What are teachers or what are these educators able to give to these girls? Because the one thing is uh, introducing them to STEM. The other thing is retention in STEM. So, for example, I have friends that were in university that were computer scientists. Okay, they were studying computer engineering, mechanical engineering. But guess what? At year three or year two, they were going into French language or say accounting or art and all. We were just seeing those moves. I remember,
Mm.
yes, I remember mathematics, for example, when they complained that in year one they admitted 70 girls, but at the fourth year, they could not account for up to 13 of them. So a lot of them either moved to different courses or they just dropped out. And you're asking yourself what happened. It's just because the system did not make it absorbable or make it so
Mm.
wonderful for them to delve into. So it's one thing, like I said, to introduce this wonderful career path to people, young girls and women, but it's another thing for it to be retained. So, but I love that initiatives, like I said, are springing up. I know, but I don't think it's enough. We need to do more. We need to start going to the education institutions, talking to them, whether it's on a primary level, secondary level, tertiary level, to ensure that these girls are being resilient despite the rain, despite the storm, because trust me, there will be storm in that journey. But at the end, they would all laugh out loud. So yeah, that's my take.
You mentioned that sometimes young girls go into varsity, for example, in the higher institutions, and they sometimes drop out or don't finish or change courses. So I was asking, what can we do? Because a lot of initiatives is to get young girls interested in STEM and have confidence in themselves that they are capable of doing STEM. So now how do we get um, young girls or young women to actually what do we need and what can we do to get young girls to actually complete their courses and not drop out or change courses?
Okay, yeah. So I will cite an example of an initiative that we are doing to tackle this challenge. So I just realized that sometimes it's not just about talking about strategies, but it's how are we able to implement these strategies. So we started this in the Gambia and in Liberia, and good enough, next year we would like to consolidate and move it into all the countries that we operate in. So we have this university hubs. Now these hubs are we intentionally look out for Africans in diaspora. So say for example, we want to do this in Ethiopia. We are asking ourselves how many Ethiopians are doing amazing in the USA or in Singapore or in different places that are willing to give their time, are willing to give their resources, are willing to give their knowledge to their citizens, like to their fellow brothers over there. And you find out that a lot of them are signing up willingly because they know that they left a broken system or a system that was offering them little or nothing, when they were in the country. But, when they went to like first world countries, they had that opportunity. So it's a way of having one-on-one mentoring with them, but we don't like to call it mentoring. We like to call it coaching because now the mentor is putting this mentee, who is a student, in the loop of all operations. So, say for example, we have someone that wants to be like a geophysicist. We're looking out for someone in the science field or even in a technology field that is willing to share resources with this person. So it could be that this person says, oh, after graduation, I would like to go in for like a master's or PhD. This mentor that is in diaspora is willing to give her wonderful opportunities or how to write a compelling statement of purpose or certain supporting documents to ensure that that mentee or that young girl is able to successfully finish from the university and go into her masters. So it's about giving them this career and academic support. And we felt that connecting them to someone in diaspora can be very motivating enough because you are seeing this person excel just like you. He's just like your brother. He's just like a fellow Ethiopian or a fellow Nigerian, and he's doing amazing. So we started using that strategy. Another kind of thing that we want to start doing, but I know it's going to involve partnership, is um designing like hackathons. And like there's one that we want to start, although we have this project congos are going on. It's talking about she hacks them. So it's a way of girls bring out any wonderful idea that you may have. We would like to have like a competition, or maybe we may not say competition, but it is a way of let's evaluate and let's give you this technical or expert support that you need. So say for example, a lady is able to, she's an agriculturist, but she's able to build an IoT that can help women in Cameroon, in their crops. So even if we're not giving her funding or we're not giving her a prize, we're helping her to develop whatever idea or whatever prototype she has built and sell it at a, say, whether a minimal cost or at a reasonable rate, to ensure that it's not only adding value to these women farmers in Cameroon or wherever in the country or wherever in Africa, but it's also helping her ideate and bring whatever thing that she has in her head to life. So it's a way of supporting them, whether they are able to build in products or whether they are able to create something and all. So we just want to have this program to ensure that women are able to create. It's not enough to just go to the university or say
Mm.
you study this. What are we able to utilize within that 4 years to keep your mind, to keep your eyes on the goal? Because a lot of things, I can tell you, women, we have a lot of distractions that come, especially at that university age. So when we start engaging them at that age, they know that they have to put they will feel and view themselves as their own motivation. So it's about them seeing that yes, I am worthy of this, I am capable of this, and therefore I should do this. So those are like two of many initiatives that we have that we want to like build in. But we should be able to like think on how to ensure that these skills and these talents, especially women, are being retained on the university level.
Yes, of course, of course. Wow, it sounds like an incredible. Have you started the program, or are you still thinking of doing it in the future?
So we started in Liberia, and what we want to, and the Gambia, but we would for next year. And the truth is that we wanted to do it in Nigeria, but we had issues because there is something they call ASU strike. So all tertiary institutions were on strike. We wanted to start that, but hopefully next year we would flag it in Unilag. We would also do it in OAU. Good enough, my alma mater, like OAU Ife, has already like they have started to talk about supporting the initiative in the university. So yes, we would not just stay in these two countries, but we want to extend it. We want to have it in Ethiopia. Our country coordinator is a lecturer in Ethiopia, like at Addis Ababa Technology Institute. So that way, we already have people in the system. So we could just like, oh, let's just kick this and kickstart.
Oh, okay, yeah. How has I mean, the 2020 has been quite a year for everyone. How has the pandemic treated you? How's the year have been in regards to the program, and you personally? How has the year been for you?
Wow, that's a I would say it's a tough question. 2020 was an unprecedented year.
Yeah.
As organizations, in 2019, everybody's drawing out a roadmap, as a plan for next year. Oh, by the end of 2020, we're able to touch how many lives, we're able to do how many projects. And when the pandemic started, especially in March, we were asking ourselves what's going on. But before we even got to March, we had already executed 5 projects. But we felt that it's not enough. How can we do this? Do it differently. And it actually affected our operations, I won't lie, because I've actually been working virtually, even before pandemic, but it was pretty difficult bringing my team along, in this virtual space. Say for example, our country leadership. So if you're having like someone from Uganda or another country that, okay, data is not, or Liberia, Liberia, data is really expensive, and you're telling them, oh, we want to have this kind of program there, and or they express certain challenges. So it was not easy bringing local communities to the virtual space. And even when we thought of, say, oh, schools are on lockdown, why don't we launch our LMS? Now we launched our LMS, but hey, not everyone has smartphones. Children don't have, not every child has smartphones, or even if they have, not everyone feels comfortable in leaving their child to have like a virtual. Some parents still believe in the traditional way of teaching. So these challenges were there, but we were able to say, why don't we use our volunteer network and reach these communities bit by bit? So even if, say, for example, we have a volunteer that is going to a city or a community like Amuwodofi and saying, I would like to just talk or train 2 girls or 2 boys, I think it's really flexible, because it's not like we're packing in a lot of students and all. So it was uncalled for, and nobody expected it, but I would say that God was really faithful in 2020, because the amount of opportunities we got in 2020, the prizes, the grants, I don't know, the exposure, it was like, hey, are you sure we're in COVID? Because it was just coming. It was just coming. And a lot of times when I even put things on my status, or maybe some people see certain things that STEMi Makers wants to launch, and people are asking, how are you guys doing it? Trust me, we didn't even know what was happening, but it was happening. But it will be very, very selfish or ill of us not to give God thanks. It was not our power at all. It's not like we knew someone in like a top government or someone breaking ceilings for us. It wasn't, but it just happened. And yeah, so I could
Yeah.
I I
I
could
can
keep
imagine
talking.
someone. How did
Yes.
you do it? How did you, how, because people are saying, hey, we trying these grants are not coming. We try and call the reach learners are not we are unable to reach learners because of the COVID and all.
Hmm. Okay, so are you
Um
asking how how I don't know, what are you asking? I didn't
no,
get that.
I was not asking. I was just saying that I'm sure people
Okay.
would be asking you
Yeah.
how did you guys manage, because people are struggling to get grants, struggling to reach learners and all of that.
Yeah, because even funny enough, something happened. I used to narrate it. I narrated it to a few of my friends and my family, and my mom was like, she was so shocked. So we had this in September. Google reached out to us, and I don't know what happened. I really don't know how that happened. It was found in our spam folder. So it was in November. That was like 2, 3 months that we saw the opportunity, because they reached out to us and said they would like us to partner with them to train parents and teachers about online safety. And we were late because the deadline had gone, but I don't know just what happened. And I sent them an email because I felt that we've lost the opportunity, and I told them, I said, we're so sorry, we're just receiving this email. We really apologize for it. It's not like we weren't interested, but we just couldn't locate it. We just didn't find it anywhere. And I told them that should there be any other opportunity in the future, please, they should not hesitate to reach out to us. And guess what? They the next day, somebody sent us an email, and said we should share our number. They would like to call us, and they called us. We were interviewed, and they gave us the job. Upon we were late. It's something that we never expected it. So I'm just trying to share how things were just happening for us. And because of we were late, we now had to, because we needed to meet a number. We told them that okay, we could do 1,000 parents and teachers, and school is actually, so we started doing marathon trainings involving a lot of schools that we know, parents in communities that we've been involved with, just to bring them on board. And they were so happy that we were able to have that, make that project happen irrespective of the time. So why I'm saying this is that we should keep doing what we're doing. Opportunities will come. But I would advise that we utilize those opportunities, creating a good name. Because in STEMi Makers Africa, first things we think about is impact first, no matter what happens. So even if there is no grant, even if there is no resources, impact first. We shouldn't compromise, we shouldn't bend. We should ensure that whatever M&E we are giving to this partner or overall outcome, we should be able to really impacted. X or Y number of people are people that we're going to be following up with. And trust me, it has really helped us, because we've been able to build a good name around what we do, and to propel subsequent opportunities in the future. So I'll just share an example to you. So that's it.
So yeah, to just wrap it up, do you have any advice, plans for Christmas? It's been a long year, so I'm sure we all need some time to rest.
Yeah. So I have, yes. So advice that I will give on the young women and girls is, please do not be afraid to succeed, and do not be afraid to dream. Unfortunately, we are in this stereotypical community in Africa where young girls can't proudly say they want to be presidents, or young girls can't proudly say, I want to be the first data scientist in my state. We have seen that, and it's so demoralizing. So I want to encourage everyone that dream big. Dream is your right. Nobody's going to steal that dream from you. The only thing that someone can always say is, oh, you cannot be that. But please dream first, and do not be afraid to do so. Because I share my stories and I see it inspire people, because it's not like I had prior experience. I didn't have any, but I know that there was a challenge and I needed to solve it no matter how. And I just had to fix my eyes on the goals. So I know that 2020 was, it was a roller coaster year, but and COVID is not like it's going anytime soon. It may stay, but irrespective of what happens, please maintain your focus. Focus on what you want to be and work towards it. Reach out to people, so that you can learn from their stories. Ask them questions. Feel free to ask anybody questions. If no one answers you, go to the next person. Trust me, you will find very few people. You will find a lot of people, sorry, because I want to be positive here, that are going to be willing to share their stories, are going to share resources, they're going to share tools, they're going to share opportunities to ensure that you excel. Take for instance, if my friend didn't share that IBM opportunity for me, maybe I may not find myself in STEM. So imagine that other people are there sharing certain similar opportunities. So please, and be open-minded, be open-minded in the sense that whatever corrections, whatever output, or whatever thoughts that maybe people share, listen to them, hear what they have to say, and let it shape yours, whether in a positive or in a right dimension or in a corrective dimension. So that's what I have to share.
Oh, all right. I hope I hope it reaches all the girls and it inspires all the girls that need to hear all of this. In fact, all the girls need to hear all of this, and we need to, like you said, keep our eyes on the goal, and it's our right to actually do that, and no one can take it away from us. And I think with that said, I would sing, like I said earlier, I would sing the Christmas carols, but unfortunately, I have a bad voice. um, I hope everyone enjoys the Christmas and have a, what do you say, Merry Christmas and happy holidays.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming, and we
Thank you.
appreciate you coming and sharing your experience with us. And
Awesome.
I
Thank
do
you too.
believe it touched at least one person is enough.
Awesome.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay. Thank
Thank
you
you
so
so much.
much. I really
Thank you
love
very much
your
for that.
the platform you gave, and I'm also hoping that your initiative, will keep on increasing in your organization values, because I know that you're also doing so well to
Yeah.
ensure that young girls are brought into STEM. I hope that happens,
Yeah.
into 2021 and going forward. So well done.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much. We
Thank
hope that
you.
your
Thank
organization
you.
expands
Thank you
as
very
well, and you take on those opportunities, and they keep coming, even in spam.
Yeah.
Don't forget to check your spam folders.
Yeah. Yes, no problem. Thank you too.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
much. Thank you.
Thank
Okay.
you.
So would that be all?
Yes,
Like,
that's all. We our speaker seems as if our second speaker was unable to come. So that's it for today.
okay, awesome then. So please have a beautiful weekend, and also a happy new year going into 2021.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. Likewise.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
And
Yes.
Bye.
Awesome. Yes.
yes, ma, you can also join us for Summit too.